What's up, NFL fans? I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, and don't forget to check out and purchase your copy of our latest football game plan book, Stiff Arming Football Myths. We have these available in both PDF and paperback form.
For the Buffalo Bills in this ball game, I wouldn't over prep for Percy Harvin. He just got there this week, still learning the nuances of that Jets offense. So you don't have to base your entire defensive game plan around a guy that just got in last week. And I would also stick with the script. Even without Fred Jackson and CJ Spiller, still you can run the football against New York. You have to find that balance against this defense if you want to have success. And I would also get creative up front defensively. That's the biggest matchup. I believe the Bills have the advantage. Their defensive line going against that Jets offensive front. If they can get creative and get creative stunts and blitz pressures on Geno Smith, it can slow down their offense and get those guys off the field. And for the Jets in this ball game, yes, Percy Harvin is in the fold, and he's going to probably see a lot of attention. So these other wide receivers, Jeremy Curley, Eric Decker, they have to step up and take advantage and win those one-on-one battles. And I would also tilt the coverage toward Sammy Watkins this week. He seems to have developed that chemistry with Kyle Orton and has become his #1 option. So I would tilt coverage toward Watkins and take him away. And those linebackers have to win underneath in the passing game. Right now, the Jets are struggling in their intermediate pass defense. Those linebackers have to step up big this week in order to knock off Buffalo.
This week versus the New York Jets, the Buffalo Bills will have to stop the power running game of the Jets, and I'm going to show you how they can do so and what they have to do as far as technique-wise to get the job done this week versus Gang Green. Show you what you're trying to do when you're running power. You're going to pull the backside guy. He's going to try to lead up in here on this backer. Everybody's going to block down, try to work down, work up, work down. He's going to try to get that guy hooked. He's going to try to cross face here. You see, and he's going to lead outside probably like this, and you're going to try to run downhill, follow the guard inside. Now, here's what the Buffalo Bills have to do. It's about beating your guy to the spot. This defensive end has to cross the face of this tackle so he doesn't get to the second level. So his job is to secure that gap right here. Now you want to make this guy, this defensive tackle, beat this block here. He can't allow himself to get blocked by the center. Beat the block here. Defensive end has to cross face to secure this B gap right there, because again, you have your contain right there, so he can go aggressive to try to secure this B gap. Now you want your backer to meet this pulling guard head on in the hole. Defensive tackle is supposed to cross his face. Don't allow him to get to the backer. Let him beat this backer. Let the backer beat the guard in the hole and allow him to meet that fullback here. He's going to have to beat this block of the tight end, the scoop block of the tight end, because again, you have your help over top. He's going to play fill. He helps force the issue. You're trying to force everything inside, but again, it's all about beating your guy. He has to also come in there and be that field guy as well. So you can have two guys attacking this pulling guard on the inside. One takes the guy on, one is free to make the play. You have your outside force by the corner. Outside backer is also trying to play contain. Defensive end is trying to force everything inside, not letting that tackle get to the second level. It's all about technique. Doing your job is how you can stop the run. If the one play you're going to have to stop this week versus the Jets will be the power play, so the Bills have to make sure they do their job. There's all sorts of ways the Jets can utilize their new weapon, Percy Harvin. I'm going to show you one way they can do so in creating opportunities for everyone else on the football field by spacing and spreading out that Bills second level defense. Show you what I'm talking about here. See what we have right here. Short shotgun, almost a pseudo pistol look with Geno Smith being 4.5 yards away from the center. You got Percy Harvin tight to the slot on the weak side. So what we're going to do is bring him across the formation and show a pseudo fake right there, a fake jet sweep. And as soon as Percy Harvin goes in motion, everyone wants to adjust. Everyone, especially the safeties, will try to adjust. The backers will try to get in better position. And he's going to sprint across and belly out as if he's waiting for a bubble screen. And what he's actually doing is going to be the safety valve for Geno Smith. And what we're doing with everyone else tight end, it's going to arc up like he's going to block. But he's running down the hash, reading the safety. He's going to either break it in or keep going down the hash mark. He's reading the coverage of the safety. Versus zone, he's going to break it in. Versus man, he's going to keep going. And what we're doing with the outside wide receiver, we have to vacate space for Percy Harvin. So we're going to bring him back across the formation. So you see where that can cause confusion. And what we're doing with the back, again, showing that fake handoff motion on the jet sweep, we're bringing the back around, and he's also a safety valve for Geno Smith. We're going to take this wide receiver here. He's going to stem up, and he's running the comeback. So you see where expansion can happen for this defense. The second level will be confusing where they should go, because you're going to have a back going across the formation, Percy Harvin flying across the formation, the outside receiver is going to drag across, tight ends going up the seam. Geno Smith should have loads of options at his disposal this week throwing the football versus Buffalo if they utilize a play like this. So that's how one way they can take Percy Harvin's speed and his explosiveness and utilize it against that Bills second level defense, attacking these guys and making them force them to cover every quadrant of the field.
The Buffalo Bills will have to defend the quick screen this week versus the New York Jets, and the purpose of this play is to take advantage of the defense's soft coverage to the trip side. Now that the Jets have Percy Harvin, I'm pretty sure you'll see variations of this week, and the goal is to get these guys blocked quickly and force the alley defender in the back to make a one-on-one play in space. And as you can see, the safety is 16 yards off the ball and has a lot of ground to cover in order to hold this play to a minimal gain. And as you can see from the end zone cam, the Patriots were able to get both cornerbacks blocked, trying to force them outside and allowing that offensive line to try to get to that free safety. Now, this is a huge lane that's created by the two blockers, and now it's just an Oklahoma drill. Mano y mano, the free safety has to make this play. And you want to help out that free safety, and the way they can do that, you want those cornerbacks to squeeze that space in between the other corner to close that alley and force the receiver to go outside, where now the free safety can utilize the sideline as his help defender. And like I've said before, the Jets will try to utilize this type of screen or even variations of the quick screen to try to take advantage of Percy Harvin and his athleticism after the catch. So the Bills have to make sure they're in great position and play with great technique versus this play that could end up as a touchdown for New York. I think the Jets have an opportunity this week versus the Buffalo Bills to confuse Kyle Orton pre-snap, and here's an example of what they did last week versus New England. Pre-snap, it looks like cover one. Everyone is responsible for someone. They're matched up head up against their opposing player, but at the snap of the football, you'll see that it's a cover two matchup zone. And here, let's run it. Look at how the Jets did an excellent job passing guys off, taking away Brady's first two options and forcing him to go to the outlet receiver, and the result was a pass breakup, and the Jets were able to get off the field on third down. So again, Kyle Orton is a guy that I believe they can confuse pre-snap and forcing him into some quick throws, maybe even a bad decision in which they can take away the football, but they have to be able to get off the field versus the Bills this week, who have tremendous playmakers on the flanks. The biggest X factor in this game for the Bills will be their ground game. Again, losing guys of the caliber of Fred Jackson and C.J. Spiller will be enough to damage any team's chances, but these guys still have to be able to run the football. I like the talent on the outside, and if they can have any type of balance with guys like Bryce Brown and Anthony Dixon, I think it goes a long way in helping the Bills win this ball game. For the Jets is going to be that front seven pressure. If they can consistently get in the face of Kyle Orton, who doesn't do well with pressure, I think it goes a long way in helping the Jets, one, get off the field, and two, create turnovers and give that offense a short field to work with. So I think the front seven has to be able to get in the face consistently against Kyle Orton. Otherwise, they can struggle because, again, the Bills have the advantage on the flanks with the receivers going against those Jets cornerbacks. I like the Jets in this ball game. I think it's going to be too much for the Bills to overcome the loss of two top rushers. Again, they can run the football against anyone. Now they're going to be without their top two horses in the backfield, which makes things easier for the Jets. They can play the run all the way to the quarterback, putting pressure on Kyle Orton and causing turnovers and 3-and-outs and getting the ball back to their offense. So I like the Jets to take care of business this week versus the Buffalo Bills.
What's up, fantasy football fans? I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook for all of your starts, sits, fantasy football notes, news, and tidbits. Tune into our podcast, Football Game Plan Starting Lineup, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on our Football Game Plan Radio Network, which is located at blogtalkradio.com/footballgameplan.
And don't forget to check out Football Game Plan's NFL Wraparound live every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time at blogtalkradio.com/footballgameplan, where we give you all of our late-minute and last-minute notes, news, and tidbits and thoughts on each and every game on the NFL schedule. And I want to give a huge shout-out to Jet Fan Forums and Bill Fan Forums for always showing Football Game Plan support.